There are a couple things everybody seems to want. One, everybody wants to be successful. Somehow, some way, in something, everybody wants to be successful. The second thing we all want is for it to be easy, for it not to be a problem, for it just to be smooth sailing and actually not a lot of work. Well, in the Bible, there are a lot of successful people, and one of the most successful was a guy named Hezekiah. And Hezekiah was the king, and he was very, very successful. But in 2 Chronicles chapter 31, it tells us why he was successful and how he was successful. And I want you to listen to this because this will tell you, A, shortcuts are happening, and B, how you really can be successful for God. It says in everything that he undertook, first off, in the service of God's temple, in other words, as he worked to advance God's purposes and principles on earth, okay? And in obedience to the law and the commands, in other words, he obeyed God's command. He lived God's principles. He didn't try to live outside to sin and then get away with it. He lived God's principles. It says he sought his God. He pursued a relationship with God. He tried to be the person in relationship with God he should be. And then it says he worked wholeheartedly. So he worked hard. And so he prospered. He prospered in everything he undertook. Because why? Because God gave him a shortcut? Because God made it easy? Because God laid it all on a silver platter? No, because he prioritized God's work on earth. Because he obeyed God's commandments and principles. Because he sought that relationship and strengthened that relationship with God. And because on top of all that, he worked really hard. That's the path to success. There's not a shortcut, but there is a path. And that path, among other things, usually includes hard work. And that's today's Jumpstart.